So if you support Donald Trump, you should be thinking, it really sucks that they didn't call witnesses and release the documents so that it could be proven that he's actually right and what he said is actually accurate. That's what you should be thinking if you support Donald Trump. You should definitely be upset that they did not give the witnesses as per the will of the people, which is who the government is supposed to serve. If you're against Donald Trump, then you should be upset that the trial, again, is not fair because the documents and the witnesses would be part of any fair trial. How can you have a trial without documents and witnesses in the United States of America, the Democratic Republic? You should be very upset, regardless of what side you're on. Bottom line is, it doesn't matter what side you're on, you should be disappointed that it's not a fair trial. How can you have a trial without witnesses? I don't care whether you're a Democrat or Republican, left, right, whatever nonsensical terms you want to use. This is something that you can all agree on if you really think about it. Both sides of the debate can agree on what I'm about to point out. So if you are a Trump supporter, you should be outraged that the senators have betrayed you. Basically, you believe that Donald Trump is innocent, and if he's innocent, you want him to be vindicated, right? So you want to have a fair trial, have the witnesses and the evidence to actually reveal that he is innocent. You don't want this hanging over his head. You don't want people to be, the left or whatever, to be saying, hey, it was a sham trial. They didn't have witnesses, so when he gets acquitted, it wasn't a legitimate acquittal, right? You don't want that hanging over your head. So you should be furious that not only did the senators not make a fair trial, not present the witnesses, but they've also been pandering and lying to you. A lot of the stuff they've been saying are lies, manipulation, and pandering. So again, regardless of you agreeing with Trump and you think Trump is the best, whatever it is, you're entitled to your opinion, the senators absolutely are lying to you, manipulating you, and ultimately they betrayed you because 75% of people wanted to have witnesses and we did not get witnesses, right? What is wrong with that? The senators represent you. They represent the people. The people want witnesses. The senators said, basically, they flipped you the bird. If you're on the Democrat side, then you probably should be very upset. Not probably, you should be very upset because it is an unfair trial. They did not present witnesses. So essentially, we've set a precedent. In the future, if we have a president who does something very corrupt, we basically don't have much of a means to stop them because you can always look back and say, they didn't have witnesses before. They didn't have witnesses. We've set the precedent that you can actually do a trial without witnesses, without documents, right? So what is to stop any future rogue president? Basically, impeachment was already something very weak, and now it's even weaker. You should be upset that the democracy that so many people have fought for and died for is being shattered now by the current administration. The bottom line is no one should be okay with what's happening right now. Again, if you support Trump, you would want to have witnesses to verify and prove to the other side that he is legit, he did nothing wrong, right? And bigger than that, the fact that 75% of people want to see witnesses, you should be upset that the will of the people has been defied, right? Regardless of what side you're on, everyone should be in agreement with that. 75% of people wanted witnesses. The senators said, F you, right? They work for us. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, they work for us. So you should be furious that they have chosen to defy the needs and wants of the people. Big question I have for you is, regardless of what side of this debate you're on, what mechanism do we have to stop a rogue and corrupt president? Forget about the current president. Just say in the future in general. If we have a president that is corrupt and rogue and putting us at risk, basically not doing his job, what means do we have to do anything about that? Impeachment was already something that was very weak because it requires a sort of bipartisan agreement. How can you ever have that? There's always going to be a party that is the same party as the president. So you're essentially requiring one party to betray itself in order for the impeachment to go through. That should not be the case. You should not be required to sacrifice yourself just to hold the president accountable. Whether we have a Democratic president or a Republican president, regardless, if we have a president that is not doing his job, that is corrupt, and again, we're not talking about the current administration, I'm just saying in general, in terms of what options we don't really have much that we can actually do about it. And we didn't have much before. It's even much less now, because now letting a trial go through without witnesses, setting that precedent, that is a knife through the heart of our democracy. So regardless of what your views are, everyone should be agreeing on that point. So why are things the way they are currently? Essentially, our government is broken. We have corruption rampant in our government, and we have corporations essentially pulling the strings of our government. But the worst part of this all, and the ultimate culprit of all of the things that we're experiencing right now, regardless of what side of the debate you're on, is that, again, this is a democratic republic. So the most powerful part of our government is you. People power. It is a democratic republic. Republic being the constitutional side of things, and the democratic, I don't know why I said it like that, side of things is the people power. People power combined with a constitution. So, why is it that the most powerful element in our government fails to act and fails to stop what's happening? I think a lot of it has to do with our failing education system, and that a lot of people don't understand how the process works. Most people think that the way that our democracy works is that you simply vote. You vote for a president, and then you just do nothing until the next election and hope for the best. That is not the way things work in a democracy. You need to be actively engaged with your government. You need to also be very strong with your critical thinking skills. Don't be manipulated by the many players in this game. Number one, you have mainstream media. Whether it's CNN, whether it's Fox, whether it's ABC, whether it's CBS, these are basically ad salesmen and saleswomen. That's what the business that they're in. They're in an entertainment business, essentially, and the way they make their money is through advertising. So just like YouTubers, it's all about the views and the clicks, right? Because they're making money through advertising. So you can't rely on mainstream media to properly inform you of what's going on. We also have a state TV element, unfortunately, that's happening in the United States, where we have mainstream media or branch of mainstream media that are essentially just parroting propaganda from our government. So if, on one side you got the propaganda